So for today's project, I'm gonna build a little human-sized finger trap like this. So, well, it's basically a leather cage. I played around with one at some kind of an event, and after that I ordered one from Etsy. That ended up being a terrible idea because, well, those people had no idea what they were building. So afterwards I just got a ton of leather, did some prototyping, figured out what are all the measurements and so on, and figured I might as well just build one. So you can see a little bit of a walkthrough of how that was done in case you want to build something similar yourself. So for lifting you need a little bit of a winch. This is on Amazon. It works pretty well. It has a little bit of a clutch, so if you pedal backwards, it releases it. So for materials, I have this half a height of fairly thick leather. It is 2.5 millimeters thick. It is nice and soft on the inside. Standard leather on the outside. Fairly rough pattern, but it's very nice. I like it. It does not have any stretchiness, or almost not any at all, so it will be perfect for this kind of a project. This piece is massive. You definitely do not need that much. I think for this project we're gonna use maybe 1/3 of it all, but it comes way cheaper in bulk, therefore I just went for it, and I'm gonna use the rest for other projects later on. Half a height in here cost me around 200 bucks. It would probably be a lot cheaper in the States or some other places where they might have actual tanneries. So in order to start cutting, it is nice to have some kind of piece that you can cut against. In my case, I have this big surface that I can easily press against. I'm going to use that one. You could easily use a ruler, especially the metal kind. Preferably the metal kind. It's very nice where the blade can't really shift around. With plastic or wood, you might cut into the damn thing, so not really ideal, but it's doable. Anything really goes. When it comes to cutting up the leather, you have a couple options. The cheapest one is probably the box cutter. Very nice and easy. A more specialized tool would be an actual strip cutter. This is usually used for cutting out belts or just very continuous, consistent strips of leather. So this large piece is quite nice, but there's a little side in here which is not that great with texture. So I'm gonna cut it off first. If your ruler is too short, you can cut, then you can move it. You should have some overlap to align it to the old line so it can keep on going the way you intended it. From here on, you can still keep on using the ruler, or in my case, I've set my helper tool to 3.5 centimeters, and I'm just gonna cut some strips. Mass production for the win! This is 12 strips of leather. So we lay it all down, cut it all in the bottom. We start by measuring 6.5 centimeters from the edge. That leaves us enough space for attaching it to the base. So we want to build a base. This is an old piece I had, hence that there are some mismatching holes, but I don't have anything else, so I'm gonna use it. So this is a diameter of 32 centimeters. So to get this whole circumference and have it all equal, I am going and basically marking 8.2 centimeters, 8.2, 8.2, 8.2, and then it just makes this lovely spider web. We'll just have straps connecting here, 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 and all around, and we just want to make some holes in here. So yeah, to make the holes, I have aligned all the strips in the bottom. I have cut them nice and straight. I have a cap of 6.5 centimeters for attaching the base. And after that, I start marking dots every 21 centimeters to form the whole grid. Yeah, and the top I haven't figured out completely yet, so I will leave them as is right now, and I'll see afterwards, because these might be a little bit too short. Let's see. So either you have a little metal punch like this that you can hammer the holes out with, or you have an actual punch tool. This is a lot faster, but you can't reach as far as you can with these. If you have a basically especially for the base piece, it would be nice to have some of those holes further out. If you get this one and don't really want to splurge on another one, you can use a drill or whatever to do those very few holes in the bottom. So we have some holes in here, and then we are going to attach them onto these. We're going to use some rivets like this. So we have rivets in here. We put our little concaved tool in the back. We have the head of the rivet, goes on top in here. And then we have a tool in here where we hold it, we bash it with a hammer, and then it will be done. Since the leather will be pulled like this on this side, it's good to make sure that the edge of the base in here is not too sharp. That would damage the leather strips. So several ways of doing it. Either you can use some sandpaper in here, or you could use a knife to bevel the edge a bit. For leather crafting, there are also edge beveling tools that you can use to cut it. And then usually just like a piece of wood with a groove in it to just rubbing it. Once all the strips are attached to the base in here, you basically start braiding it all together. In order to do that, basically you start going in pairs. We have 12 strips altogether, therefore we have 6 pairs. You just start with the first pair, so you attach them together from the top, then you move on to the next pair, attach them together from the top, and then on to the next pair where you are going to attach them together from the top. One thing to keep in mind is to have very consistent patterns. So if your first strip goes over the second strip, then you also want to repeat that pattern on the next one. So first one goes over, the second one goes underneath. When putting the whole thing together, it is good to just actually clip your rivets together and do the whole thing. That way, if you have messed something up, then you can still fix it by pulling these out. And you can then easily redo it. So when we're moving on, we basically have a natural flow. So these middle pieces, they go together from obviously the next hole again. So So when it comes to the pattern, it's basically like weaving. You have over, under, and then next one the same. Then we have a little hitting device. We have a hammer. Oh, that was too much. No, it's within reason. You shouldn't smash this as much as you can. You should kind of be reasonable, so when it's connected, it can still move around and the leather can kind of twist. If you messed up and want to remove a rivet, all you need to do is take a pair of pliers, clamp it shut, take a drill, and carefully just drill it out. So for the base, we want something nice and solid that you can just step on and it would not bend or deform. So I'm going to use a piece of plywood for the base, and then I'm going to put some foam on top and just wrap it in a little bit more thin leather. Some glue. So in order to complete the top, we have some little rings up there that go to a carabiner or a hook. And then we have a ring in here where it keeps the whole mesh from collapsing. If your head is down there, it doesn't provide any kind of pressure on it. And also, in order to actually get in here, you're supposed to be able to take some of these hooks off, and then some of these little pieces in here are supposed to open up. So for that, we have little belt buckles in here, where if you open them up, wow, they open up like that, and then we're going to take more of these off. So basically, if you just lift it, there's going to be enough of a hole in here for somebody to get in. So for the very last rivet in here, next to the top, we are going to add in a little belt thingy on top in here. So the circle on top is 29 centimeter diameter. I basically cut a steel rod, shaped it into a circle, welded it together, but you probably don't have to like that. So you might do a couple of circles and then wrap it in leather to kind of support itself, or you might find maybe a similar piece from a hardware store or like repurpose it from some kind of scrap. So overall, this is a pretty long video, but the basic idea behind it is just like this really simple drawing. So I'm gonna attach this in the descriptions. It should be enough for a crafty person to just figure it out from there. But you know, just to kind of give you an idea, that was what this video is for. So here's a bit of glamour shots. It has worked pretty well. The mesh could be a little bit more dense, but it still works pretty all right. So thank you for watching and see you around.
I can feel you.